This shirt just felt right today. If you know, you know. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris and welcome back to another video. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there, especially the fathers in the world. We love you. Thank you for what you do. Because it is Father's Day, I decided why not talk about fathers in movies or dads in movies, because there are a lot of them, a lot of great ones. So today I'm talking about my top 10 favorite dads in movies. Now, this could range from an animated movie to a live action movie to really any genre. Definitely hit the like button. Comment your favorite movie dads down below. So coming in at number 10 for me is going to be John McClane from Die Hard. John McClane is one of the coolest protagonists of all time in movies. I just think he's such a badass. He inspired this whole action genre of one man in an environment where he has to take out a bunch of other people. So basically White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen. But John McClane has 2 kids at home, and he loves his wife Holly, obviously. And it is on Christmas Eve, so he's trying to get home to see his family. So a lot of his motivation is in fact his family, and we see that throughout the movie. He's just a great dad because he'll do whatever it takes to get home to his kids on Christmas, because he just loves his family that much. Coming in at number 9 for me is going to be George McFly from the Back to the Future franchise. Now, the first time we see George McFly, he's just getting owned by Biff Tannen. He's very nerdy and quiet and almost shy to speak out against Biff. But throughout the course of the movie, we see Marty, his own son, go back in time, and obviously he instills this pride in him and allows him to have this confidence to stand up against Biff. And we get that great scene where he's like, "Hey, you get your damn hands off her. You sure I have to swear?" He obviously punches Biff Tannen when they end up back in the future, 1985. We see that things have changed as George McFly no longer listens to Biff Tannen. He is now controlling Biff, and Biff basically does all the house tasks around the house for them. So it's a great little arc there, and I think George McFly, again, he's just such a funny character in that movie. The way he has that ugly greaseball haircut, it's something else. Number 8 for me is going to be Chief Brody from Jaws. He's just one of the coolest dads there is, and he really just wants to protect his kids from the shark and protect the people of Amity Island when the mayor cares more about making money on the 4th of July weekend. He has a few kids. One of them gets a boat, and his son Michael is out there in this little pond, and the shark gets in the pond, and he does whatever it takes to save his son. So he will do whatever it takes to protect his kids and his family. He's a badass dad. Coming in at number 7 for me is going to be Scott Calvin, aka the Santa Claus from the Santa Claus franchise. Now, when this movie first starts, he's not the best dad. He's burning the turkey, he's very obsessed with his job, but then we see him become Santa Claus, and that arc completely flips on its head as he becomes someone who loves kids everywhere and becomes a massive role model for his kid Charlie. I think that he's a great father to Charlie, and then of course Lucy later on in the franchise, as he just has this magic about him, and he captures Santa Claus so perfectly that as a kid, you believe this is the real Santa Claus. Tim Allen as the Santa Claus, he just hugs the audience and just instills this warm feeling in me when I watch these movies. Coming in at number 6 for me is going to be Marlin from Finding Nemo, and I guess Finding Dory technically. First of all, Marlin's story is absolutely tragic. He's with his wife at the very beginning of the film, and then the barracuda kills all of his kids and wife except for one egg, and that is going to be Nemo. You've all seen the movie, I'm sure. I understand why he's so overprotective and unwilling to let his kid go, because he experienced a traumatic event that has shaped his life. And I feel like the older I get, the more I'll resonate with Marlin, because I feel like if I have kids one day, it'd be hard to let them go at a certain age when they're growing up and they're starting to figure out things. Like, you want them to be around all the time, but obviously they have to go live their own life. That's kind of the message Marlin has to find out. There's a happy medium, and it's okay to let kids go. He's just a great dad. He goes across the ocean to go save his son Nemo, and it's honestly, I'm getting chills thinking about it right now. That one scene where the birds and all the fish and the animals are relaying the message that Marlin has been across the sea to try and save his son. He's really just a badass if you think about it. Gotta give that man credit for going and saving his son Nemo. Coming in at number 5 for me, we got another Pixar dad, and that's gonna be Mr. Incredible. Now, if you watch the first Incredibles, I mean, at the start of the movie, he's very down on his luck. He's working a dead-end job, and he basically hates his life. But then everything gets turned around when he goes over to the island, and we find out that Syndrome's around, and that's a threat. But then there's that awesome montage where he starts to work out and feel better. And by the end of the movie, he's just the ultimate dad to all these kids. They're kicking ass as a family, and you love to see it. But of course, we see that he really does care about his family in that one scene where they die on the plane, and he's just gut-wrenched and heartbroken when he finds out that his kids and his wife are dead. Of course, Jack's at home the whole time, but he's a great father figure. And then in the second Incredibles, he does his best with Jack when he's basically playing babysitter, Mr. Babysitter, if you will, for most of that movie. So I have to give him credit for doing his best, especially in a chaotic family called The Incredibles. Coming at number 4 for me, this could be controversial, but I have a reason why he's not number 1. It's going to be Darth Vader, because Darth Vader, obviously, the father of Luke Skywalker and Leia, but he's not the best dad. The thing about Vader is, in the end, yeah, he's a good father figure to Luke in those last few minutes in Return of the Jedi where he's like, "You were right. Tell your sister you were right." Villain to hero, you love to see it. I mean, he's basically toying with Luke in the entirety of Empire, wanting him to join him so they can take over the galaxy as father and son. And it's like, he's not the best father figure, but he's still one of the most iconic dads ever. Coming in at number 3 for me is not necessarily a direct dad to a character, but he's such a father figure and has such a massive influence that I put him on the list anyway. But it's going to be Uncle Ben from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Now, the reason he's on this list is because Peter's parents are gone, so he's living with Aunt May and Uncle Ben is basically his dad in this movie. And there's so many heartbreaking scenes where he's doing his best, you know, he really, really wants Peter to be the best he can, and he even has the line, with great power comes great responsibility, when he's in the car with Peter. And Peter at the time, he doesn't know his uncle's about to get shot in the streets, but he's just being a teenager and really brushing off parental advice and father advice. And we've all kind of been there, like we've been having a bad day and we don't really want to talk to our parents or something. He has a reappreciation once he goes out and he sees Uncle Ben was shot. There's a heartbreaking moment there where Uncle Ben's crying and he says, Peter. I mean, you see Tobey Maguire's overdramatic crying, which is still effective. He just cares so much about Peter, and he'll do whatever it is to cater to Peter's needs, but he's also going to instill these beliefs in him, like with great power comes great responsibility, the whole mantra behind Spider-Man. Coming in at number 2 for me is going to be Professor Henry Jones from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He's played by Sean Connery, who, rest in peace, I love Sean Connery so much. He's hilarious in this movie. Junior! Like, I love that one scene when they're in the motorcycle and they pull up to the stop sign and he cusses and he like hits him on the head. There's just so much banter between these two that is hilarious. He's one of the most iconic dads in movies in my opinion, and he adds something to this franchise as well, because after Temple of Doom they needed a little bit of comedic relief, and their relationship definitely lends itself to that. Elsa and the way that she plays into the relationship between the father and son, if you know what I'm talking about, it's pretty funny. Coming in at number 1 for me is going to be Mufasa from The Lion King 1994. Mufasa is the legendary, the goated father figure or dad in movies in my opinion, because he loves his son Simba so much, and we see the way Simba goes and wakes him up. He's like, Dad, you promised everything the light touches is ours. And then we see the relationship enhance when Simba goes and disobeys his father and goes to the elephant graveyard. Mufasa is like stern with him. He's like, listen, you deliberately disobeyed me. And he says he's disappointed. Someone telling you they're disappointed in you hurts more than any other feeling. When you disappoint someone who you truly care about and love, it's extremely upsetting. And that moment just hits because you see in Simba's eyes, he's like, I love my dad so much, I disappointed him. It just breaks your heart, honestly. And they have a great conversation about being scared, and Simba was like, Dad, you're never afraid of anything, right? He was like, I've never been more scared in my life than when you were back there. I was terrified because I don't want to lose you. This father-son relationship just hits different.
I guess even kings get scared, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
What?
I think those hyenas were even scarier.
Because nobody messes with your dad. And then they're looking up at the stars and he tells them about the stars, which is just a huge impact on Simba's character. We see the heartbreaking moment where Simba's getting chased down by the wildebeests and Mufasa goes and saves his son, goes into danger just like that, risking his life to save his son. And he almost gets out until that bastard Scar kills him. Mufasa will do whatever it takes to protect Simba. He loves his son. They have such a great relationship, and Mufasa's impact on his life is more powerful than anyone else's on this list in my opinion. What do you guys think of my list? Let me know down below. I wanted to do top 10 dad movies as well, like Top Gun, Ford v Ferrari, movies that dads just love to watch and quote, but maybe I'll save that for next year. But thank you all for watching. Definitely hit the like button, comment your favorite dads and movies down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Happy Father's Day yet again, and until next time, see you guys later.